Most people think being broke in America is just bad luck. They blame the economy. They blame inflation. They blame their job, their boss, their background. But what if the real reason is something deeper? What if it's not just about money, but about mindset, habits, and a system designed to keep people exactly where they are? Because the truth is, millions of Americans are stuck in a cycle they don't even realize they're trapped in. They wake up early, rush to work, spend 8 to 10 hours building someone else's dream, come home exhausted, scroll their phones, watch Netflix, go to sleep, and then repeat every single day, week after week, month after month, year after year. And somehow, at the end of all that effort, they're still broke, still stressed, still living paycheck to paycheck. So what's really going on? Here's the first harsh truth. Most people were never taught how money actually works. Think about it. In school, you learn math, but not how to build wealth. You learn history, but not how to manage income. You learn science, but not how to escape debt. Nobody teaches you about investing. Nobody teaches you about financial freedom. Nobody teaches you how to make money work for you instead of you working for money. So what do people do? They follow the default path. Go to school, get a job, earn a salary, spend it, repeat. And that's exactly where the trap begins. Because the system rewards spending, not saving. Everywhere you look, you're being sold something. A new phone, a better car, designer clothes, luxury lifestyles on social media. You're constantly told, you deserve this. Treat yourself. Live your best life. But no one tells you the cost. No one shows you the invisible chains that come with it. Because every time you spend money you don't have, you're trading your future for temporary satisfaction. Credit cards make it even easier. Swipe now, worry later. And that later becomes debt. And that debt becomes stress. And that stress keeps you stuck. Now you need your job. You can't take risks. You can't leave. You can't breathe. You're not just working anymore. You're trapped. And here's where it gets even deeper. Most people don't just have financial problems. They have belief problems. They don't believe they can be rich. They don't believe they can escape. So they don't even try. They say things like, rich people are lucky. Money is hard to make. That's just how life is. And those thoughts become their reality. Because if you believe something is impossible, you'll never take the actions needed to achieve it. But look around. There are people who came from nothing and built everything. No connections, no privilege, no shortcuts. So what's the difference? It's not just opportunity. It's awareness. Successful people see the game differently. They understand that being broke isn't just about income. It's about how you use what you have. Because you can make $100,000 a year and still be broke. And you can make $40,000 and slowly build wealth. The difference is discipline. But discipline is rare. Because discipline is uncomfortable. It means saying no when everyone else is saying yes. It means saving when everyone else is spending. It means working on your future while others are relaxing in the present. And most people don't want that. They want easy. They want fast. They want now. But wealth doesn't work like that. Wealth is slow. Wealth is quiet. Wealth is built in the dark while no one is watching. And that's why most people never get there. Because they quit too early. Or they never start at all. Now here's something most people don't realize. Time is the most expensive thing they're wasting. Every day you delay learning about money, you fall further behind. Every year you don't invest, you lose opportunities you'll never get back. Because money grows with time. And if you don't understand that, you'll always feel like you're chasing something just out of reach. But it's not just about time. It's about focus. Look at how the average person spends their day. Hours on social media. Hours watching other people succeed. Hours comparing their life to someone else's highlight reel. But almost no time actually building something of their own. And that's the real tragedy. Not lack of money. Not lack of opportunity. But lack of direction. Because if you don't know where you're going, you'll end up exactly where everyone else is. Stuck. Now imagine this for a second. What if instead of spending 3 hours a day consuming, you spent 3 hours learning? Learning skills, learning business, learning investing. What if instead of buying things to impress people, you invested in things that could change your life? What if instead of saying, I can't, you started asking, how can I? That's where everything begins to shift. Because escaping being broke doesn't start with money. It starts with a decision to think differently, a decision to act differently, a decision to stop following the crowd and start building your own path. And here's the truth most people won't tell you. It's not easy. You will feel uncomfortable. You will feel behind. You will feel like giving up. But that's part of the process. Because growth always feels uncomfortable at first. And the moment you start stepping outside the system, you'll realize something powerful. You were never stuck. You were just following a path that was never designed to make you free. Now let's go deeper. Because understanding the problem is only half the battle. The real question is, how do you actually escape it? Because knowing why people stay broke doesn't change your life. Action does. And the first step is something most people avoid. You have to take full responsibility. Not your boss, not the government, not your past. You. That might sound harsh, but it's powerful. Because the moment you take responsibility, you take control. And control is where change begins. Right now, most people are reacting to life instead of designing it. They earn, then spend whatever is left. They work, then rest without building anything extra. They survive, but they don't progress. If you want to escape, you have to flip that mindset. You don't spend what's left after saving. You save first, then live on what remains, even if it's just a small amount. Because it's not about how much you save in the beginning. It's about building the habit. Habits shape your future more than income ever will. A person who saves 10% consistently will always be ahead of someone who saves nothing, no matter how much they earn. Now here's the second step. Increase your value. Most people try to make more money without becoming more valuable. And that's why they stay stuck. Your income is directly tied to the value you bring to the market. If you have basic skills, you'll earn basic money. If you develop rare and useful skills, your income changes. So ask yourself, what skills do I have that can make me more money? If the answer is not many, that's your starting point. Learn something that pays. It could be sales, digital marketing, copywriting, video editing, coding, business strategy. These are skills people pay for every single day. And the best part? You don't need a degree to learn them anymore. You have the internet, free knowledge, courses, tutorials. But most people scroll past it because entertainment feels easier than effort. That's why only a small percentage actually escape. Now here's where it gets serious. You need a second source of income. Relying on one paycheck in today's world is risky. Because if that one stream stops, everything stops. And that's exactly how people stay trapped. They depend on one job, so they can't take risks, so they never grow. A second income doesn't have to be big at the start. It just has to exist. Freelancing, side hustles, online business, content creation, something that gives you control. Because control over your income is control over your life. Now let's talk about something most people misunderstand. Saving alone will not make you rich. It protects you, but it won't free you. To escape being broke, you need to make your money grow. That's where investing comes in. And no, it's not just for rich people. That's a lie that keeps people out of the game. Investing is how the rich stay rich and how the smart escape being broke, whether it's stocks, businesses, or assets. Your goal is simple. Make your money work. So you don't have to work forever. Because if you only trade time for money, you'll always be limited. There are only 24 hours in a day. But money? Money can work 24/7. That's the shift. Now here's another truth that might hit hard. You need to change your environment. If you're surrounded by people who spend everything, you'll do the same. If you're surrounded by people who don't think about the future, you won't either. Environment is powerful. It shapes your habits without you even realizing it. That's why successful people are careful about who they spend time with. They choose growth over comfort. You don't have to cut everyone off, but you do need to protect your mindset. Follow people who inspire you. Listen to voices that push you forward. Learn from those who are where you want to be, because what you consume daily becomes who you are. And finally, understand this. There is no quick escape, no overnight success, no magic formula. Anyone selling you that is selling you a dream, not reality. Real change is slow, but it's real. It's built through small, consistent actions repeated over time, saving a little, learning daily, working extra hours on your future, making smarter decisions. Day by day, you start separating yourself from the crowd. At first, no one will notice. Then people will question you. Then one day, they'll ask how you did it. And the answer will be simple. You stopped doing what everyone else was doing. You stopped living on autopilot. You stopped choosing comfort over growth. And you decided to build a different life. That's how people escape. Not by luck, not by chance, but by changing how they think, how they act, and how they use their time. And once that shift happens, everything starts to change. Now here's where things truly start to separate, because at this stage, most people already know what to do. They know they should save money. They know they should learn new skills. They know they should invest, but they still don't do it. Why? Because knowledge is not the problem. Execution is. This is where discipline becomes everything. Not motivation, not hype, not watching another video. Discipline, because motivation comes and goes. Some days you feel unstoppable, and other days you don't feel like doing anything at all. If your success depends on how you feel, you will lose. That's why disciplined people win. They don't rely on feelings. They rely on systems. They do the work even when it's boring, even when it's slow, even when results aren't visible yet. And that's the difference most people underestimate. Because success is not built in big moments. It's built in small, repeated actions. Waking up early when you don't want to. Working on your side hustle after a long day. Saving money instead of spending it. Learning when others are relaxing. It doesn't look impressive in the moment, but over time, it becomes unstoppable. Now let's talk about something that silently keeps people broke. Lifestyle inflation. The moment people start earning more, they start spending more. Better phone, better car, bigger apartment, more subscriptions, more unnecessary upgrades. And suddenly, their income increases, but their financial situation stays the same. Or worse, it gets tighter, because now they have more expenses to maintain. This is one of the biggest traps in America. People look rich, but they're actually broke. Everything they own is financed. Everything they have is owed. And behind the scenes, they're stressed, trapped, and dependent. So, if you want to escape, you have to do the opposite. When your income increases, your lifestyle should stay controlled. Not forever, but long enough to build something real. Because every extra dollar you don't waste is a dollar that can build your future. Now here's a mindset shift that changes everything. Stop trying to look successful and start trying to be successful. Because those are two completely different paths. Looking successful is expensive. Being successful is strategic. Looking successful is buying things. Being successful is building assets. Looking successful gets attention. Being successful creates freedom. And freedom is the real goal, not impressing people, not chasing validation. Freedom, the ability to choose how you spend your time, where you live, what you work on. That only comes when you stop living for today and start building for tomorrow. Now here's another truth most people avoid. You will have to sacrifice. There's no way around it. You might have to say no to parties, no to unnecessary spending, no to distractions. You might feel like you're missing out while others are enjoying life. But what most people don't realize is this. They're not enjoying life. They're escaping it, escaping stress, escaping pressure, escaping the reality they don't want to face. While you're building something real, something that will last, something that will eventually give you the life they're pretending to have. And yes, it takes time, longer than you want, harder than you expect, but it works every single time. Now imagine this: 1 year of real discipline, 1 year of focused effort, 1 year of learning, saving, and building. Your life would look completely different. But most people won't commit for that long. They want results in weeks, for effort they barely give for days. That's why they stay stuck. Now here's the final shift for this stage. Start tracking your life, your money, your time, your habits, because what gets tracked gets improved. If you don't know where your money is going, you'll always feel broke. If you don't know how you spend your time, you'll always feel busy, but not productive. Awareness creates control, and control creates change. So write it down. Track your expenses. Track your income. Track your progress. Make it real, because once you see the truth, you can't ignore it anymore. And that's when transformation begins. Not when you feel ready, but when you decide to stop lying to yourself. Because deep down, you already know what needs to change. And once you start acting on it, you're no longer part of the system that keeps people broke. You're building your way out. And now, this is where everything comes together. Because at this point, you don't just understand why people stay broke. You know exactly what it takes to escape. The only question left is, will you actually do it? Because this is the moment where most people stop. Not because it's impossible, but because it's uncomfortable. Change sounds exciting until you have to live it. Waking up earlier than everyone else. Saying no when it's easier to say yes. Working when you don't feel like it. Staying consistent when results are invisible. This is where dreams either become reality or stay dreams forever. And the difference? It's not talent. It's not luck. It's commitment. Real commitment is quiet. It doesn't need announcements. It doesn't need validation. It shows up every single day, whether you feel like it or not. Because at the end of the day, no one is coming to save you. No perfect opportunity. No perfect timing. No perfect plan. Just you and your decisions. Every single day, you're either moving closer to freedom or deeper into the cycle. There is no neutral. And here's something powerful to remember. The life you want is already possible. Not easy, but possible. There are people living it right now. People who were once broke. People who were once stuck. People who once felt exactly how you feel. The only difference is they didn't stop. They kept going when it was hard. They stayed focused when it was boring. They believed in the process when nothing was guaranteed. And eventually, things changed. Not overnight, but slowly, then suddenly. That's how real success works. At first, it feels like nothing is happening. You're working, learning, saving, building, and it feels invisible. Like you're putting in effort with no reward. But what you don't see is what's building underneath. Your skills are growing. Your mindset is shifting. Your discipline is strengthening. You're becoming someone different. And then one day, opportunities start showing up. Income starts increasing. Stress starts decreasing. Confidence starts rising. And people will look at you and say, you got lucky. But you'll know the truth. It wasn't luck. It was every small decision you made when no one was watching. Every time you chose growth over comfort. Every time you chose discipline over distraction. Every time you chose your future over temporary pleasure. That's what built your freedom. Now, let's be clear about something. Escaping being broke is not just about money. Money is just a tool. The real goal is control over your life. The ability to wake up without stress. The ability to choose your path. The ability to live on your own terms. That's what this is all about. And it starts with a simple decision. A decision most people delay for years or never make at all. The decision to stop settling, to stop making excuses, to stop blaming everything around you, to stop living a life you know you don't want, and finally say, enough, enough of being stuck, enough of living paycheck to paycheck, enough of watching others win while you stay the same. Because the truth is, nothing changes until you do. Not your income, not your situation, not your future. Everything starts with you. So from this moment forward, you have two choices. Go back to your old habits, your old mindset, your old routine, and stay exactly where you are. Or step into something different, something uncomfortable, something challenging, something that actually has the power to change your life. The path won't be easy, but staying stuck isn't easy either. At least this way, there's a reward at the end. So choose wisely, because years from now, you'll either thank yourself or regret this moment. The choice is yours.